All right, greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. How are you all doing? Sorry for the confusing message about the show today. I know I said I was going to just do it on Rockfin, but I decided no. I decided to just do the regular show. We're on all the platforms, okay? So probably some people were thinking I wasn't going to have a show today, or I wasn't going to have a show that they could watch or something like that. So, but here we are, and so hopefully y'all can make it while it's happening, and if not, then I guess you could watch it later, right? Yeah. So we're here. We're live on Twitter. We're live on Rockfin. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Colin. And thanks for, making it. I know it was kind of like a weird, not the best announcement of the show. And I kind of posted it kind of late. Anyways, here we are. Let's get into it, and we'll roll along, and I guess people will just show up when they show up. But tomorrow will be the regular time, all the channels, regular time. Peter Dines, more than 150 Amazon dolphins are dead. What chance do they have when water temperatures in the lake reached 39 C, 2 C above human body temperature? Ecological systems are under serious heat stress. Mitigation is urgent. It's a little bit chilly in here. If you're wondering why, I'm kind of bundled up, and I feel like I need even more. And it's really not that cold comparatively to other places, of course. Record low ozone, but silence. This is a pretty big story. The story of the ozone hole over Antarctica, which happens every year. We didn't fix the ozone layer, guys. It's one of those things that they like to push out there as like the world got together and figured out how to fix this. We didn't fix it. Not only did we not fix it, it's getting worse. And they're not letting you know that it's getting worse. They're not. It's one of those things. It's in the climate change conversation. But it doesn't really get talked about much. The record high levels of UV reaching the planet, which obviously indicate the ozone layer is not functioning the way it should be. Nobody's talking about this. At least not many that I can see. And that those high levels of UV damage all kinds of things. Plants, insects, animals, humans. It damages everything. This is an extremely important, overlooked and underaddressed issue about what's going on the planet. And again, I'm sure it's frightening for people to contemplate, think about. But it's happening. Another post on this, and we'll come back to this story. Doomer Girl news. We made connections between this drop in ozone and changes in the air that is arriving into the polar vortex above Antarctica. This reveals the recent large ozone holes may not be caused by CFCs. Ozone hole is worse than expected. Here's another great story. The Pentagon is moving towards letting AI weapons autonomously decide to kill humans. Fun. Another story about the lovely things that the military is doing to the planet. Why is the U.S. ramping up production of plutonium pits for nuclear weapons? Is it because war is a racket? Poppy sent me this as a good oil and gas industry needs to let go of carbon capture as solution to climate change, IEA says. All right. Acknowledgement of the obvious. So there you go. This from Nico House, or retweeting this. Apparently, Israel is violating a ceasefire already. And this is from 2 days ago or yesterday. Civilians trying to return to their homes in Gaza. They're already firing on them. So nice. And this is fairly big news. And I wonder if this is why, or this isn't getting a lot of residents in Jerusalem and are demanding his resignation. So many people, including the citizens of Israel, are not cool, not happy with all of these goings on. All right, we got some people on Rockfin, a couple of people strolling in. I know. It's early. Earlier in the morning. Do we got some folks watching on Twitter? I can't tell. I can never tell. Sorry about that. That was bad. Yeah, we got some folks watching on Twitter. That's cool. I'm sure. Everybody come on in. We'll get to these things. It's not going to be a super duper long show. As in, I don't know if we're going to make it to an hour, but we'll do our best. Let's see. Let's see if we can find this. Look at this for a second. About the ozone. What about the ozone? Scientists said the ozone hole was recovering. This is actually an older article, but there's newer indications that the ozone hole is not. Anyways. The good news was premature, one study claims. The recovery of the ozone layer, which sits miles above the Earth and protects the planet from ultraviolet radiation, has long been celebrated as one of the world's greatest environmental achievements. But a new study published Tuesday claims it may not be recovering at all, and that the hole in it may be expanding. Oh, no. Well, and there was a fairly large hole that opened up. Sorry, you guys can't see this. That opened up last year over the Arctic, right? Yeah. Sale. Cyber Monday, Black Friday. Bullshit Sunday. How about that? Bullshit Sunday. That's my new. I'm gonna sell you. Anyways, whatever. I got a sale going on. It's called Bullshit Sunday. You want to buy some bullshit? I got some for sale. All right. Cool. All right. Well, this isn't the one I wanted to. I'm showing you guys the wrong thing. Anyways, whatever. You guys don't care. No, I know you care. I know you care. I do. Doomsday Tuesday? Yes. Suck a Fool Thursday. I don't know. Suck a Fool Saturday. How about that? All right. The recovery of the ozone layer has been celebrated, and it's not recovering. The findings are in disagreement with the widely accepted assessments of the ozone layer status, including a recent UN-backed study that showed it would return to 1980s levels as soon as 2040. In 1987, several countries agreed to ban or phase down the use of more than 100 ozone-depleting chemicals that had caused a hole in the layer above Antarctica. The depletion is mainly attributed to the use of fluorocarbons, or CFCs, which were common in aerosol sprays, solvents, and refrigerants. That ban, agreed under the Montreal Protocol, is widely considered to have been effective in aiding the ozone layer's recovery. But the hole, which grows over the Antarctic during spring before shrinking again in the summer, reached record sizes in 2020 to 2022, right? Prompting scientists in New Zealand to investigate why. Oh, I guess this is an update to this article. I guess that's what I was reading earlier. Sorry. Took me a second to understand what was going on. This means that the hole has not only remained large in area, but it has also become deeper throughout most of the Antarctic spring, said Hannah Gesenich, a student at the University of Otago, lead author of the study. The especially long-lived ozone holes during 2020 to 2022 fit squarely into this picture, as the size and depth of the hole during October was particularly notable in all 3 years. Wow. It's a thing. Like if you go to the southern hemisphere, Australia, New Zealand, anywhere close to Antarctica, you have to be very careful about going outside and getting hit by all that ozone. I mean, by all that UV. Sorry. It's Sunday morning. Sorry, I'm having a hard time. So they're saying, this is from Thomas Reese. He's saying record low ozone, but silence. Shocking how political theater sells the not success. Banned holocarbon still available in the black market. Hydroxyl crisis. Less iron dust. Methane oxidizing in heights to water vapor is hurting the ozone layer. It's hard to know what that's about. So this is in 2023. And indicating a fairly large ozone hole. But anywhere that you are, please take precautions about getting hit by that UV. Because it is not good for you. It's very bad for you. And you don't want to have the effects of that, the negative effects of that. Impacting your health, etc., right? God dang it. I really don't like this, whatever this is. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second, y'all. Yeah. All right. Okay, all right. So let's move into this. The Pentagon is moving toward letting AI weapons autonomously decide to kill humans. Really? Tell me more. The U.S. is among countries arguing against new laws to regulate AI controlled killer drones. Well, I wonder why they're arguing against it. I thought we were like all about like democracy and peace and human rights and, you know, creating a better world. But we're arguing against laws that would regulate AI controlled killer drones. We don't want the laws. We want, because obviously we want to be able to use AI to control the killer drones. The US, China, and others are developing so-called killer robots. Really? I had no idea. Critics are concerned about the development of machines that can decide to take human lives. Critics say. I love that. I love the phrase. Critics are concerned about the development of machines that can decide to take human lives. Critics and pretty much everyone else on the planet Earth. Pretty much anybody who is alive is concerned about this. You're all a bunch of critics. All of you. No, it's fine. The deployment of AI-controlled drones that can make autonomous decisions about whether to kill human being targets is moving closer to reality. Oh, boy. See this picture? All these drones flying up here? Pretty soon they won't need army people to go out and get people and get you. They won't need anybody even close. And if you're in the they won't need army people who might actually have like hearts and minds and consciousnesses. To, that might go, oh, I don't like that. Right. And this, I find this picture frightening because this is coming soon to a neighborhood near you, right? Again, I paint this picture, which isn't a great picture, of, some crisis in the near future. They've got millions of these drones that can be weaponized. They've got millions of, they're building millions of robots somewhere in a warehouse. And, the next crisis that comes along, it won't be hard for them to send out drones or robot dogs or whatever it might be, or even humanoid robots that, will post up and make sure you aren't doing the things you're not supposed to be doing, right? And it will be, a new hellscape of martial law, I guess. Anyways, let's read on a little more, I guess. The use of so-called killer robots would mark a disturbing development, say critics, handing life and death battlefield decisions to machines with no human input. Sounds like a pretty good movie. Several governments are lobbying the UN for a binding resolution restricting the use of AI killer drones, but the U.S. is like, no way, man. The U.S. is among a group of nations, which also includes Russia, Australia, Israel, who are resisting any such move, favoring a non-binding resolution instead. A non-binding resolution. This is really one of the most significant inflection points for humanity. Alexander Kement, Austria's chief negotiator on the issue, told the Times. This is one of the most significant inflection points for humanity. And your government is going, nah. No, it's not that. We really would rather not. What's the role of human beings in the use of force. It's an absolutely fundamental security issue, a legal issue, and an ethical issue. But apparently, you know, getting a job in the military or the government doesn't require you to actually finish the ethics course and or maybe not pass it anyways in your college alma mater. The Pentagon is working toward deploying swarms of thousands of AI-enabled drones, according to a notice published earlier this year. In a speech in August, U.S. Deputy Secretary of Defense Kathleen Hicks said technology like AI-controlled drone swarms would enable the U.S. to offset China's People Liberation Army their numerical advantage in weapons and people. Well, when you put it like that, then that's great. I think that's fine. There's so many of them, and we need all these drones to fight against a country that has no intention of invading us or getting into a war with us. Unless, of course, we provoke them enough, and then they might be like, hey, cut it out. And then we'll be like, see, they're aggressive. See how that works? Classic. We'll counter the PLA's mass with mass of our own, but ours will be harder to plan for, harder to hit, and harder to beat, she said with glee as she munched on a stack of marbles with her razor-sharp teeth. Frank Kendall, the Air Force Secretary, told The Times that AI drones will need to have the capability to make lethal decisions while under human supervision. Individual decisions versus not doing individual decisions is the difference. What? Between winning and losing, and you're not going to lose, he said. I don't think that was a very strange thing. I don't think people we would be up against would do that, and it would give them a huge See, the people that we would be up against would be people without hearts and minds. They would be monsters and animals, and that's why we need to do that. We need to do that because they don't have any morals or ethics. They're subhuman. They're not. You see the language that they love to use about turning people into, unfeeling, unthinking, non-human, conscious, so that they can blow them up, right? So they can blow them to smithereens and not feel any kind of way about it. Am I right? Am I right? I think I'm right. Anyways. The New Scientist reported in October that AI-controlled drones have already been deployed on the battlefield in Ukraine in its fight against the Russian invasion, though it's unclear if any have taken action resulting in human casualties. That means for sure. The Pentagon did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Okay. Well, oh boy, that's all I got to say. Yeah. Let's look at this. We need this drone factory because of jobs. We need jobs. We need good paying American jobs. Okay. Why is the U.S. ramping up production of plutonium pits for nuclear weapons? The Pentagon is concerned about the U.S. nuclear arsenal's viability, but critics worry about a renewed arms race. All this was started under Obama, by the way. On one side of the U.S. on New York Staten Island, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers began this month to remove the radioactive remnants of Robert Oppenheimer's Manhattan Project that produced the atomic bombs that ended the Second World War. Meanwhile, 3,000 miles away at the Los Alamos National Laboratory north of Santa Fe in New Mexico, on the same site that developed and assembled the bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, work is being ramped up to produce plutonium pits, spherical shells about the size of bowling balls that are a vital component of warheads in the U.S. nuclear arsenal. Both in their own way, tell the story of the nuclear age, but one is historic housekeeping. In 1939, 1,200 tons of high-grade uranium was purchased and transferred from the Belgian Congo to Staten Island, where there are still traces of radioactive contamination. And the other one is far more controversial and very current. Both arrive as a concern over conflict involving the use of nuclear weapons rises. Increasing geopolitical tensions with Russia and military expansionist China, who are just a bunch of invading Mongols, subhuman Mongols that don't have any morals or values. And that's why we need AI-assisted killer drones. Anyways, it's behind the $1.5 trillion U.S. effort to modernize the U.S. nuclear arsenal, including tens of billions of dollars, to replace aging silo-launched Minuteman intercontinental ballistic missile stationed in Wyoming, Montana, and North Dakota with a successor, the Sentinel. But the prospects of placing new missiles with potentially more warheads in the U.S. heartland is under scrutiny for its logic. Why plant a $100 billion nuclear kick-me sign on the country's breadbasket? Ask the incredibly intelligent people and authors of a report in Scientific America this month. Why indeed? I mean, I guess the logic is that there's nobody there. You wouldn't want these silos like next to a city because then be like, oh, we'll just... But they're going to target the cities anyways. And then there's the idea that like anybody's going to survive a nuclear attack. They're going to blow up our food. I mean, I think that's the least of our worries if a couple of warheads hit the middle of the United States. It's pretty much going to ruin everything. For 2 decades, the Pentagon and Congress have been concerned about the U.S. ability to produce the cores of nuclear warheads, including the plutonium pits. Since 1989, the U.S. has not been able to produce pits in quantities required to refresh or renew a stockpile of 3,708 warheads. The issue is that plutonium degrades over time. Anyways, so they're trying to keep the nuclear arsenal tip-top and ready to go. And we are concerned about saving the planet. Climate change is a real thing. So let's get going making those plutonium warheads as fast as we can because that makes sense. Not to mention, we have a real issue disposing of the old plutonium pits. We still don't know what to do with all the plutonium waste. We are not doing well with the plutonium waste. And, yeah. Okay. How you doing, calling people? You with me? Great. Oh, let's go on to this one. This should be a good read, or maybe a terrible read. I don't know. But somebody is telling the truth and about carbon capture, so that's great. Need a little more truth about this. That this is not. I know it's a nice little blanket, so that people can, I don't know, sleep a little more soundly at night. Maybe we'll get that carbon capture going. I like this other one, fusion energy, bro. Fusion energy. Fusion energy has been talked about for 20 years and is still not realizable. We might be a little closer to. It still is not even functional. Fusion energy, not even functional on any level. Like they're still like testing it out, and they've like, well, we fired up something for a couple of milliseconds or whatever. And people are still like, well, wait till we get that fusion energy. Okay. Sorry if I'm, offending anybody by talking down your favorite, project of the future, but it's not even a thing that exists yet. So why are you even saying it? Right? It's still a thing that's like, in the future, everyone will drive flying cars. Like, it doesn't even exist yet. It could exist. It doesn't exist yet. Okay. But I'm sure it's a good money making scheme though, for the moment. Anyways, oil and gas industry needs to let go. I can see people are upset that I'm talking about fusion energy. Sorry. Come on, man. Like, if you're just thinking like, yeah, we're gonna make the fusion energy and everything's gonna be great and we'll fix everything with fusion energy. Like, you are delusional. At this point in time, you're kind of delusional and hanging your hat on something that it doesn't exist yet. So they're trying though. They're working real hard though. I know. Oil and gas industry needs to let go of carbon capture as a solution to climate change, IEA says. The oil and gas industry faces a reckoning over its role in the clean energy transition, according to an International Energy Agency report. They face a reckoning. 1% of global investment in clean energy has come from oil and gas companies, according to the IEA. The industry needs to let go of the illusion that carbon capture technology is a solution to climate change. Yeah, the oil and gas. Okay, they're saying the same things 3 times in a row. This is unnecessary. The industry needs to commit to genuinely helping the world meet its energy needs and climate goals. Sounds like a little bit of a contradiction. Energy needs and climate goals. If your climate goals are up here, then your energy needs should be down here, right? You cannot have, we need energy, we need to save the climate. They cannot be up here at the same level. Right now, energy needs are up here, right? And climate keeps going, the state of the climate keeps going down, 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 because energy goals are up here. Energy needs are up here, right? You see how that works? See, that's the equation. So if you want climate to be up here, you need to have energy down here. See how that works, boys and girls? This is for 6-year-olds. It's the equation for 6-year-olds. Climate up here, energy down here. Right now, energy is up here and climate is down here and going lower. See how that works, boys and girls? You can't have energy needs up here and climate up here. You can't have both at the same time. You understand? Oh, people got real mad about me talking about fusion. Oh my God. I guess. I mean, whatever. Well, that's preposterous. Okay. Anyways, the technology captures carbon dioxide from the industrial operations before emissions enter the atmosphere and stores it underground. Again, this is actually technology that like barely exists either. I mean, it does exist, but it exists at such an infinitesimally small scale. It doesn't even really exist. It's not even a functioning like thing that's happening. Like, yeah, they're capturing some carbon here and there from smokestacks, and but they don't even really, the burying in the ground part, it doesn't even, you know, it's got a lot of problems. It's got a lot of issues. So again, this, they're banking the future of the planet on something that like is barely even in operation and barely even functions. So it's like, yeah, let go. You should let go of that one. You should definitely let go of that one. You should definitely let go of fusion energy too. You should let it go. Let go of that. Okay? It ain't happening anytime soon. Let it go. It's okay. So while all oil and gas producers need to reduce emissions from their own operations, including methane leaks and flaring, our call to action is much wider. The industry would need to invest 50% of capital expenditure in clean energy projects by 2030 to meet the goal of limiting climate change. Again, here we go, with the limiting something to a level at which we are already at. So I don't know how that works. Limiting climate change to 1.5 degrees Celsius. How long are they going to do this? I'd also like to know that. I would like an answer to that. How long are they going to keep doing this? For the, is it another year? Is it another 3 years? Well, we hope to limit warming to 1 point. Dude, we're at 1.5. What are you even saying? What are you even saying? According to IEA report, about 2.5% of the industry's capital spending went towards clean energy in 2022. One of the major pitfalls in the energy transition is excessive reliance on carbon capture. According to the report, carbon capture is essential for achieving net zero emissions in some sectors, but it should not be used as a way to retain the status quo. An inconceivable 32 billion tons of carbon would need to be captured for utilization or storage by 2050 to limit climate change, blah, blah, blah. The necessary technology will require 26,000 terawatt hours of electricity to operate in 2050. More than the total global demand in 2022. All right. So, yeah. This is just silliness. Silliness. Exactly. Don't here's the magic solution. Here's the magic solution. Don't burn it. Don't do it. Tell everybody that their energy needs are going to need to go way down in the next couple of years. Like they're going to, that's anti-human. It's going to need to go way down. So maybe instead of like, I don't know, having your big ass building, with the AC cranked to 65 all summer, maybe you open all the windows and stuff. you know, I don't know. And you don't use the AC. Maybe, maybe you don't use the AC unless it's like super hot. Maybe we don't do. I remember going to a store. This is years ago, but this happens all the time in LA. In the middle of the summer, and the AC is cranked, and it's this is huge warehouse store, and the AC is cranked, and it's pretty cool in there. Feels pretty good, and the front doors are wide open, and it's like 90 degrees outside or whatever. I was just like, yeah, mm-hmm. You guys couldn't even bother to close the doors to keep some of that energy in. Yeah. So, like the future energy needs should be like close the doors when you're using the AC, or maybe don't use so much AC, or maybe it doesn't need to be 65. How about, 75? How about, whatever it might be. I don't know. Here's an interesting thought. Figure out how much, we'd have to lower our energy use over the next few years, and then everybody gets an allotment of energy, and if you use it up, well, that's all you got for the end of the year. None of these things fly in the face of like capitalism, which is every resource available all the time, and that with no constraints whatsoever. That's how capitalism works. Anyways, just some thoughts. I don't know. Exxon and Chevron are doubling down on fossil fuels through mega deals. Exxon is buying Pioneer Resources for nearly $60 billion, while Chevron is purchasing Hess for $53 billion. And they are investing billions in carbon capture technology and hydrogen, while European majors Shell and BP have focused more on renewables such as solar and wind. Well, that's nice. I'm sure they're going to lead us into salvation from climate change. I'm sure that's going to happen. I'm positive that's going to happen. Show. Yep. Yeah. All right. Let's see. We're getting close to the end of the show. I know it's been a little bit shorter of a show today, and I apologize. But it was a Sunday. I didn't think I was really going to do a show today, or much of a show today. But I will be back tomorrow at the regular time. All right, good. We got people watching on Twitter. That's great. Thanks for watching on Twitter, y'all. Rockfin people, I see you. I see you. Thank you. Oh, nice link. Okay, thanks for the link, Denver. I appreciate that. Former Los Alamos nuclear scientists aid China's development. Okay, great. The heck? That was weird. Development of advanced weapons. Yeah. I mean, we share so much anyways. We share so much so many like military and tech technology, military technology with them. Anyways, it's hard to really think of, it's hard to really gin up the whole like they're our enemy. They're gonna, most of the stuff we get made, including the MAGA hats and the American flags, come from China. You know, we're so like intensely intertwined with in so many things with China. I can't imagine that we're really like trying to gin up a war against them. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, does it? Doesn't make sense to me. None of it makes sense to me. But oh, where was I at? Anyways, if you enjoy the show, if you like to come hang out at the show, and you like the show being here every day, and I put up all these videos for free, and there aren't really any paywalls or anything. Really good ways to support the show: buymeacoffee.com/blackbearnews, Cash App at Red Llama Music, Venmo at Kevin Sandbloom, paypal.me/Kevin Sandbloom. You can Zelle me at kevinsandbloom@protonmail.com. And I thank all the people that you can also support me on Patreon. I thank the people that support me on the regular. You know who you are, and it's pretty much everybody that watches the show. So thank you for that. Hey, I know what time it is. All right. Just wanted to show this last post, I guess. Which we kind of already looked at, but we'll see if we can get a little sound on this.
An Israeli order for people who are displaced not to head back from the south of the Gaza Strip to their homes in the north. Some people have been trying to do so. They've broken off trying to use side roads, and we're hearing that several people
have been wounded by Israeli ground forces opening fire. More worryingly, we're also hearing that despite an Israeli order for people who are displaced not to head back from the south of the Gaza Strip to their homes in the north, some people have been trying to do so. They've broken off trying to use side roads, and we're hearing that several people have been wounded by Israeli ground forces opening fire. More worrying.
Great. Supposed to be a ceasefire. Well, let's hope that the voices of displeasure with what is going on get louder and louder. Louder and stronger until they drown out, until they demand an end to this. And let's hope the Israeli citizens that don't want this, that are surrounding Netanyahu's house, maybe they can force these people out of there. And force an end to this. That would be wonderful. That would be really great. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. Thanks for joining me every day on these here internets. I appreciate you. I'll be back tomorrow at the regular time now. New regular time of 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And until next time, peace.